All right, we are officially live. What's up, everybody? This is Weeb or Die, and we like to talk about anime. It's a girls' night tonight, if you guys couldn't tell. We had guys' night the last time, girls' night tonight. I'm just undecided on what I am today, so. Oh, it's a dog. We got a dog.
Yeah, look. Are you gonna show your face?
Oh.
Oh, you're really oily. He needs a bath.
So, tonight's episode, we're focusing on Tower of God. We're doing a whole review of season one and then our thoughts and reactions to the first couple episodes of season two. We're also doing our normal stuff, watching, reading, and then I'll probably also give everybody a rundown on
Ugh.
kind of
What
what the
did
new
you have on your body?
kind of what the new format is for
I'm
the
listening, I swear.
for the podcast and how we're gonna end up doing things. So as always, we start out with what we're reading or watching, and we have Katie going up first with what she's reading or watching.
Not really reading anything right now. Was sick, so didn't get any reading done. Watching Tower of God, obviously. Future Diary, Noblesse, and then so Reincarnated as a Slime season 3 still. Any new episodes?
All right, and if you don't have anything else, Yesenia, it's your turn.
I was gonna wash my hands, but it's fine.
Ew, brother, ew.
Well, other than Tower of God, I mean, everything I was watching was should have been said the last episode, but I wasn't on it. But
Boo.
I watched, well, because it was when I was on break, okay? It was the time I was able to watch all of the things.
Excuses.
But I watched Kaiju number 8. Shut up.
What'd you think?
I loved it. I loved it so much. I watched it all in 4 hours.
I'll be honest, I think one of the next couple episodes we'll have to do a full recap of the first season, if you guys are okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah. And if anyone else read the manga.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm only
Do you
4
know where it
volumes
ends?
in.
11 hasn't been put out in English yet.
Okay. But from the anime to the
After start on volume 5.
5? Okay,
Yeah.
because I do eventually want all of them, but I want to start where I can continue on.
Yeah.
And then I can get the ones later. So 5?
5 is where you would start then.
Okay, let me write that down before I forget. But I watched that one here. Let me see what other ones I was watching. I watched, I think I said this last room. Classroom of the Elite is what I was watching. Jesus Christ, Yesenia. I caught up on all of the, at least the dubbed ones of the time I got reincarnated as a slime. I can't say any of these names, but
Are you watching hentai? Is that why, or?
no. No, but I can't say names. I'm really bad at them. But if you can see the
Shukamichi?
yeah.
Okay.
I watched this one. I watched all of this one. That one was really good. I really liked that one. And I really think that was it. I don't think I watched anything else. Obviously other than the Tower of God, which we are all watching.
Which will definitely, again, that's our whole episode today, so. So for me, I am reading Solo Leveling. I'm finishing up with the 3rd manga now. I'm watching, obviously, Tower of God, like everybody else.
Yes. So
Kai-
good.
Kaiju number
Bad.
8
I don't know.
is finished for right now. I'm caught up on My Hero. I don't know if you all are caught up, but this past episode
No.
was definitely a tearjerker.
I know about it because
Yeah.
Weddle told me.
Yeah. Well, so the part that happened, I got spoiled from in the manga anyways, so it wasn't too shocking for me. It was still sad. And my wife didn't know, so she was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, I didn't realize that episode was coming up, and that got spoiled for me a day into the episode being out, so
That sucks.
you can't avoid it anymore."
No.
Trying to think. Not really watching anything else. Fairy Tale. I'm trying to get Fairy Tale done so I can actually watch the 100-Year Quest, and just trying to catch up on the 500 animes I do currently have. You're muted.
Am I?
There you are.
You were.
Okay. I just said we don't talk about it.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I was worried. I thought Tower of God was the whole first season was a tuning exams. If you told me. And then as far as we're gonna, this is just a quick thing. Our new podcast schedule and format. We are no longer live streaming at this time. We felt it was a lot easier to just worry about recording and putting out the best quality videos that we can with, focused on just recording it instead of live streaming. The plan is we record, the plan is around Tuesday or Wednesday, and the videos will be out on Fridays unless Microsoft gets hacked again. And then we're also planning on putting out more content than just the podcast. We're going anywhere from going out and interviewing people, going to cons. Honestly, anything that anybody recommends that we should do, we're willing to try. And we're gonna start being more active on the TikTok page that I've made and never used. So, look out for more content from us, and we're gonna be a lot more consistent. And another good thing, Manuel's not here to celebrate it, but it is our 1-year anniversary of the podcast. So the 1 year of when Manuel and I were just doing it on Spotify and with no video. So a cool little tidbit there. Other than that, as far as schedule and format, that's the new schedule. And we got news. Nothing too crazy with the news. We got Dragon Ball Daima releasing October 2024. Came out with another trailer. Naruto's having a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collaboration. That's coming out October 2024. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is in production for the Culling Game arc. We're expecting that to probably drop 2025, if we had to guess. The other thing is that Akutami has come out and said that the arc that they're in right now is probably the final arc for JJK, so that'll be wrapping up soon. We're gonna get One Piece remake info on August 11th. I hope that might be my foot in the door for One Piece. And then this was a big one. I know Trevor and Manuel are really happy about this. Hunter x Hunter Manga Volume 8 set to release September 4th after a hiatus of 2 years. So a lot of people will be happy about that. Did anybody else have any news or anything that they had before we get into the main topic?
No.
Not that I can think of.
Alright. Yeah, we're really chugging along here. It's crazy.
Yeah, now we can talk about the bad bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright.
Was that too dark?
No, you're good. It's perfect.
Okay. I felt like it was really dark or
Yep.
bright.
Do I look too white?
You always do, but that's fine.
Always. So, we took it upon ourselves to give a little homework, and we decided we were going to watch Tower of God season 1 and get caught up on season 2. All of us watched it. Manuel watched it. He's currently not here. I'm actually going to see if he wants to jump in.
Should I buy it though? It's only
Yes.
$24, and it's the next 3
Yes.
What?
Yes.
of Kaiju number 8. It's 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, be about it.
Yes. Yes.
It's $24 for all of them.
Just do it.
Just be about it. Alright. So,
Okay.
we'll start that up from the top.
You are bad influences, and I love it.
Yes.
I thought it will be here Thursday.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So again, we
I'm
did
excited.
we did homework. Tower of God.
Yes.
Our group chat was blowing up about this because
Oh my god.
we had a lot of opinions. It was a roller coaster of thoughts, and I am curious to see what everybody else says because I shit you not, 2 pages of notes
No.
on my little Pokemon notebook. So,
Where do we even begin?
yeah, initially, what did everybody think of the opening for the first season? I liked it.
Confusing?
Well, the opening,
It
like
is
the
average.
yeah.
The opening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was different. I think it wasn't.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
think it's probably like top 15,
Yeah, it
top
was.
10,
Yeah, it was
top
good.
15.
It was one that I didn't feel like I needed to skip, so that's always a
No,
plus.
I didn't skip. I even like the ending, like the
ending credits.
close. Yeah, I even like that.
I'm really bad about skipping the closing credits. I'll be honest. Because by then I'm ready to get on to the next episode.
Yeah.
So, my initial reaction, and I think all of us kind of had the same reaction here, is that the story was all over the place in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
It really was not consistent until probably the last, I would say, it started getting somewhat consistent the second half of the season. And even then it was still confusing.
Yeah.
And I think we all were in agreement on that.
Yeah.
It
I don't know. It was just like when I first started watching it. Like I said, I had been doing homework when I
Right.
was like, oh, I'll just put it on and kind of watch it. I thought I missed so much because I'm like, why is he chasing her? What the hell is going on? I thought I missed like the whole episode. I thought I looked down for 2 seconds and it was completely gone. I was so confused, and then I was like, okay, let me restart this.
Right.
It was only like 5 minutes in, and I was like, what? Okay.
Right.
I was like, what the hell is going on with this?
So I will say, as somebody that was like focused on watching this, obviously if I'm taking notes, I was struggling to understand it myself. And I get a lot of these shows and stuff, they don't always give everything away at the beginning. It makes you have to wonder, want to keep watching and everything. But it was so all over the place in the beginning that I even said, that episode 4 doesn't do it for me, I'm gonna grit and bear and watch it because we planned this, but I might not keep this going. If this was something that we weren't watching for the podcast after 4 episodes, I probably would have dropped it. In hindsight, I'm glad I didn't. Which we'll get to that. There's a lot to unpack in those last couple episodes.
Yeah. Those
Oh,
were actually pretty good.
yeah.
I will admit that.
Yeah.
That made me like, okay, I can watch.
And
I could start watching the second season.
yes, exactly. So, what I got from my notes from the first 2 episodes, or first couple, I felt like the animation seemed rushed, and I know Katie also felt this way.
Yes.
I noticed that if I was watching it on my big TV, it was a lot more noticeable than when I watched it on my phone, where it's not as stretched out and the animation might be a little more tight. Also, did anybody else feel in the first couple episodes that it felt like a Hunger Games, Squid Games sort of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Especially the episode where there was 400 and only 200 could remain at the end, and everyone just went after each other instantly.
Immediately when I seen that, I wrote down Hunger Games anime ?
Yeah. I don't. And then it just changed abruptly. Like, then they're like, oh, now you have to have, like, in the same episode, too, then they were like, now you have to find, like, 2 people, hang on to them, or you're disqualified, or whatever. And I was just like, okay. And then it was, like, those same 3 for, like, games. And then they added more. And I was like, okay, so we're not killing people anymore.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, maybe you guys will have more clarity on it. So later on, then they have to go into those groups of bigger ones where they're assigned like a role.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But they're in groups of so many people now, and who are they competing against? Is it just the ranker, or was because the first one looked like the ranker, and then the second one looked like they were against another team? So I'm like, wait a minute, but the rankers, they're involved in it too. So are they also against
the redheaded ranker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently something I'm not 100% certain, because again, wasn't fully paying attention. I thought they said that because they were like an odd amount of people, and he was the like fill-in for it, but then he just decided to like go rogue because he got mad.
Yeah,
and then I was like, what?
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, okay, I was not the only one that was confused on that then, because I was like, I was under the impression, they do make a mention of, well, I know he says, well, I'll be the one that's doing this or whatever, and I don't know if that was a choice on his own because it was off balance, or if he was just like, shit, I want to have fun, you know? That's kind of the thing that I was unsure about. And those episodes is where it really starts to take off. I think the Crown Game episodes is what really started to kind of get me wanting to keep watching. And
absolutely.
You know, a lot of people do 3 episodes and they're done. So they might not have even made it to the Crown Game episode because
I just was so confused by it.
I feel like I'm even more confused now, even after watching it all, and now we're in season 2, and I'm still like, okay, what, which we'll have to unpack all that when we get down to that. There's so much I have.
It's a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah. So the one big thing that bugged me, and they never really answered this, unless the director knew. How did they not know that Bomb is a irregular? I feel like that's something that gets, like, something that should be known, or I thought that was gonna be a way bigger thing in the beginning, that people were gonna be like, oh, he's an irregular, we don't fuck with him. Instead it was like not mentioned until the last 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm like, I almost forgot he was irregular.
I honestly, am not gonna lie to you, I didn't even know until the end when they were talking about it. I was like, when did he become an irregular? I was like, I kind of figured because he's really odd and like
Yeah.
everybody's like, what is up with this man? But I really didn't know. I didn't know they had mentioned it prior. This is how confusing this anime was.
I'm also hoping that I kind of wish they would have touched more on the relationship between Rachel and Bomb. Like, whatever happened in the beginning, because I still am unsure why he's in a cave, how she comes about. And maybe this all gets unpacked in a later season, but there's still that little bit where I'm like, okay, why the hell were you digging in a cave? And, why does this kid not have any memory of anything? What the hell happened to him? Like...
Yeah.
Well, and then not only that, but she essentially took him in and is telling him stories about a star, which obviously that seems to actually play into the plot, as chaotic as the plot is. But where is she hearing these from if they're the only two people down there?
Right. So, what I'm wondering, I think obviously she's from this higher world and has seen and lived things where he's kind of been down here and almost like a caveman, almost like, what is this? What are you talking? How do you know this? What is emotion? Why can I not hit a girl, or why can't I? Like,
yeah,
I'm hoping that eventually we get more to how this even happens, and what, obviously there is something with him, that he's a special person within this universe. It's obvious after a few episodes, but like, how do we, is this something that he had a big outburst or something at another time and lost all his memory? And I'm convinced, and I was telling you all this beforehand, that I wouldn't be surprised if this show was a never-ending loop. That he repeats the cycle over and over again. And, because his whole thing at the beginning is he wants to climb the tower with Rachel. He wants to be with Rachel. So, if that is the thing...
Punk-ass bitch.
If that's the...
Not him, her.
Calm down. We ain't there yet. Trust me.
We haven't disclosed that yet.
Yeah. So,
they already know my stance on it.
Yeah.
When we get to it.
They'll have mine too. I'm truly wondering if he makes it up to the top and that he gets there, so he's done this thing. And okay, well, you've done this, so let's redo it again. And over and over and over and over again. That could be a plot twist that ends up... That would be a good one, but I swear if I guess it now, I'm gonna be pissed when that comes up.
Yeah. I don't know. Everything was just confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like he's definitely been there before, like how you mentioned, though.
Yeah.
In one way or another, in one form.
Yeah.
Me and Weddle were talking about it because, he was ahead of me, but I was like, I'm just confused, like, what the hell, like, what is he, like, Weddle was saying that he could potentially be a ranker.
So I was thinking that.
I didn't know if you mentioned that, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. There's a possibility, but it's not... I don't understand how you become a ranker either. Like, there's no... Yeah. I'm under the impression that, like, the ranker might have been, like, somebody that passed the tower or got far on the tower, and, that's how you get that status.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I thought once you got to the top is when you became a ranker, and then... And that's why they have more free reign on where they go.
Well,
But
Weddle was saying that like he could have potentially been a ranker and something happened,
Right,
which
so
is why he was where he was. And,
which is where my theory might actually come into place.
yeah, and then he like, cause he was confused before he met her, remember? So like I'm
Right.
like wondering, and she had to like teach him all these new things. So I'm like wondering if like whatever happened and like he lost that part of him, and then he met her, and then that's where.
But why was she down there? And then on top of that, okay, so he went down there. Why did she choose to help him and teach him all those things just to be like, bye, I'm gonna go climb the tower. Goodbye.
Right.
Don't follow me. Forget about me.
Right.
I know. It doesn't make sense, but what it was talking about potentially that like could be a possibility for at least him. How he got there and like what happened to him prior to that. Obviously, none of us would know.
I'm wondering, and this really goes into season 2 a little bit, but I think this has a possible thing, and it's just a small thing at the end of the first episode where they say something about the Prince of Jihad coming back, and they're showing who I believe is Bomb walking, or it's somebody. I assume that maybe it was him based off of the context of everything, and now he's clearly aged, he's gone through his training, he's not to get too ahead of it, but I'm wondering where that's gonna go as far as that. But we'll get back to season 1. That was just something to go along with that theory.
Yeah, well, I wanted to mention that too, but I didn't know, like, because I hadn't fully watched the first episode of season 2, so I didn't know.
It was very in passing. It was like a quick.
Yeah.
It was a quick thing that if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't have caught
Yeah.
it.
And I did hear it. I did hear someone was like, "Oh, like that's exciting. He's coming. Like the Prince of Jihad is coming back, or some shit like that." And I was like, "Huh." Then that's why I was like, maybe it is him, because like they were all mad because he was using like the black something. What is it called? The sword. What is it called?
What's the name of it? The Black March.
Yeah.
Black March. I'm
because
wondering.
It's named after month.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So.
But like maybe he was able to like used it because he was like part of it, like how like the princesses are.
Yeah. Which would make sense, actually.
Yeah.
Another thing they don't really touch too much on yet is like how he's able to really have control of that, because I feel like I guess anybody can have control of it, but like the sword kind of picks who they want to use it, and they even make like funny jokes like, oh well, I only want a man, and then it's like, oh, I only want a handsome looking man, and then it's just like, okay, so the sword kind of has a mind of its own. Why at that time was, is it Anak? Is that her name? I think. Why wouldn't Anak just give that back to him and be like, well, I can't do anything with this? Or, I don't know. There's little stuff like that where, like, the plot holes are not... There's some plot holes there and things that don't make sense. Other than she wanted to have it because she's technically a princess of Jihad. If kinda.
Kinda. She wants to be, but she can't be because of her mom.
Right.
So. Yeah, their mom was one. And she wasn't supposed to have her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is a crazy, that was like a crazy concept that kind of came out of left field, and I was like, whoa, we just can't be like having babies and stuff. Like, a lot of places, a lot of like animes is like, no, we want an army of these, warriors or whatever, and it's like, no, we don't want to share our power.
Which is kind of weird if you think about it, because then no one has the power eventually. But
Right,
what do I
right. So
know?
it's
Yeah.
just a little by little thing.
Which
One
is
of,
what confuses just me more and more and more, because I'm like,
one of the funny things I wrote down was Sleeping Guy is also tired of the inconsistency in this anime. So um
I like him. He was
honestly,
funny.
I love
I
him.
related to him the most, I felt like. So
when he started crying because he Bomb gave him a pillow and he was
Yeah.
like, I can sleep
yeah,
again.
yes, it was great. He was one of the one of my favorites. Another one was Rack, who was just a gator and Nosuke.
Yes. Yes.
Like everything, even to the point where he's calling Paragold, Parasol and all that. And like
I never put that together, but yeah.
I'll be
I liked him too.
immediately was just giving me that vibe of like, oh my god, this is just a Nosuke. Like, and then they were water bending. I was like, what? I thought I was watching the wrong anime for a little bit.
Okay, I was confused by that too. What did they call it? They didn't obviously call it waterbending, but
I forgot what it's called. I'll be honest. Except
But I
for
was
the
It's like
S.
Saisen or
Yeah.
Saisen or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that.
I was so confused by that too.
I'm still a little confused on how that all works. I don't know if it's a water thing, if it's a life thing. I almost like equate it to like the Force, almost from Star Wars, like a more,
Yeah.
yeah, a more well-known.
But so they were floating. So when they were in the water, like in the last few episodes, they were in it, but then they were in a bubble made of it as well.
Yeah.
And then
It's
he's
so
fighting with it.
Yeah. I
couldn't understand that.
I no, you're good. So I don't know if there's like, obviously there's different levels to it. You know, it shows in season 2 actually he has like, he's using, I guess, thunder variants of it, and you know, he's using more elevated levels to it. So I don't know if it's like, okay, you can be in this area that is controlled by this, but if you have a higher power of that same thing, like it's gonna be more effective. Then I don't know. That's some of the power system for me. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how one is.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. It was like the power system. Like
Yeah.
before we started recording, I was like, I struggle with that. I don't know what the hell it is, or like.
I don't know what actually is like effective and what's not effective, because you start the second episode or the second half of the first episode and the second episode, you got people shooting each other with rifles and bow and arrows and spears.
But then magic later, I'm just like.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, it's cool, it's great, but like, what is the power? Once you get later on, it's like, okay, well, how's this power level work?
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt.
No,
But
you're
those
good.
swords are supposed to be the strongest, but if they're using that stuff, the magic, whatever. So are the swords more powerful, or is that more powerful? And if so, why bother carrying the swords?
That's a good question. Maybe it's
Does
based
the sword
off of-
have its own power that makes like the user more powerful? Like
Well,
Yeah, the sword
green
does
ones,
have
like,
its own
split off.
power. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe it's just based off of like, okay, a princess of Jihad doesn't really use as much of that power, but has like the weapons, and like the weapon is more effective. Like maybe it is based off of one skill, and then two, like how much power you actually have and can use.
Yeah.
You know, which is nice. Like, it doesn't seem like, you know, nobody's safe in this show, it seems like, which is a good thing. It's just very confusing, and I'm hoping that maybe they'll elaborate more on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I hope
so
they explain the
elaborate.
game better.
Yeah.
Because explaining the one with the dolphin things and happy to go through the dolphin, but you
Yeah.
need to avoid all these things.
Yeah,
That was the most confusing description I've ever listened to, and most of the animes
was-
I watch are game based,
yeah,
and I'm just
I
like,
was so confused about like the tag game.
yeah,
I was like, what is this? Like, and then like the crayon, oh, ah, the crown. Jesus Christ, I want to say crayon. God, Jesus.
Oh
Lord
my
help
gosh.
me.
Oh my gosh.
Obviously, if you
Choke on
couldn't
the
tell, I
M&Ms.
used to have a speech impediment with my R's. The crown.
A crayon. You don't wear a crayon, you wear a crown.
A crown. Jesus Christ. That game was also kind of confusing.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? You get to pick and choose when you wanted to go in, and then like.
that one made sense actually, because
Yeah.
you didn't want to go first, because then you were, even if you took the throne, you were more likely to get knocked off at some point. All the stronger people are going to wait till the end. They're going to kind of hold out as long as they have someone smart in their group to realize that.
And
there's
they even
overall.
kind of elaborate on that one a little more.
Okay, did I just miss it
Yeah.
because I wasn't paying attention?
That
Okay.
one,
Yeah.
Okay.
that one was
Okay.
actually explained pretty well.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like,
It's okay. Wait till you get to season 2, episode 3, with the game that
The
they're doing.
baseball game.
Well, the baseball game and the one that they're doing with the rooms right now. I'm like, I kind of understand it, but I'm also like, how, like, what? Like,
Well, and the fact that he has a different set of instructions because he wants to go alone. So it's just like this whole, everyone else has these instructions, but you have these, but you're also going to do these things.
right.
Like, it's too many layers.
That's overly complicated for something that doesn't need to be overly complicated.
overly complicated.
So mentioning the Crown game, the Green April, I said, is that a weed joke. I just thought that was funny. I found out that Johnny Young Bosch is bomb in the English dub. And then I said, oh fuck, this whole show is a tuning exam. and we know how much I love those.
That's what's up.
And then I also put Toon said bros before hoes. Which I kinda wish he would have listened, because look what happens, later on. Now we can get to, so before we get to the last couple episodes, we get to Rachel getting paralyzed, or so we think. That episode got me, I'll be honest, at first, because I'm like, oh shit, like, shit's actually happening, and then you're like, is she gonna make it? Okay, she did make it, but she's paralyzed, and then we come
Fucking
to,
liar.
we come
Liar.
to find out an episode later.
This motherfucking bitch
yeah.
is a liar.
In my opinion, a top 10 anime betrayal. And
Yeah.
when
And he's just like falling and just like,
so
what the hell?
at first, when it happened,
Like this.
I was like, okay, maybe there's a reason to it. There's a good reason to it. Well, you get to the next episode and find out that she, in fact, is a bitch. And
Nothing.
A
bitch.
She wants to be the star.
she wants to be the star, even though
She wants to be the brightest star.
even though she says at first, no, that's not why I want to do that. And it's like, come on now, we know that you're lying.
Come on. We know you're a bitch. It's fine.
Exactly. And so when you find out that she's just jealous that Bomb is actually, you find out that Rachel was never the one that was chosen to do this. Now that was a twist.
That was
not,
crazy.
that was a twist to find out. So I had a feeling when she pushed him out that there was something more to it than just like a jealousy thing. That there was like, she had to do this to, I guess, get up the tower to be able to be a part of it.
And it did explain that a bit.
Yeah.
With he already lost.
Right.
He sucked.
Right.
So
did she lose already one time?
Yeah, so she lost, and that's why she was in the office talking, and they're like, well, if you're willing to kill him, we'll move you up and we'll let you go up the tower.
One more chance. Okay.
So because she wanted that chance, she, after nurturing him and reading him these stories and teaching him not to hit girls, she fucking pushes him and kills him.
Right. I have so many words for her. In my notes it says Rachel is a bitch. Fuck her. There's no other way to put it. The worst part.
That is very accurate. That's a good one.
The worst part of it all is you get to the end and everybody's like, hey, oh man, what happened? And you kind of believe that he might possibly be dead. Turns out that Rachel might actually be the main character in this, or Coon's gonna be the one that, that somebody else is gonna carry this torch. And when you get to find out, one, she wasn't paralyzed, which I guess you find out after she pushes him, but like, it's more obvious when she's standing in her room maniacally laughing.
That was tough.
And like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. And the whole time, like, they're like, oh, we're gonna help her. We're gonna make sure she gets to the top of the tower. It's like, meanwhile, she just played all of you guys like a fiddle.
Literally.
And killed the person, supposedly killed the person you're mourning and sat over.
Yeah. Now, the best part of that is you find out that, kinda, at least the way I interpret it, that not everybody is that they're a little suspect about her right now. That it just seems weird that she somehow made it and he didn't.
Yeah. My favorite is when he's like, well, if you did care about him, you wouldn't be here. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like,
yeah.
You wouldn't be continuing on.
Right.
Without him.
Exactly.
Because he wouldn't have done the same thing.
Right. And so that, like, it's great. And then come to find out, I think at the end of the last episode, you find out that he's not dead. And that actually, and another thing that I forgot to mention is that, like, come to find out, the director knows a lot of stuff that's going on. And that, they're aware that she's trying to get rid of him. And that this is all a part of, so that's kind of a messed up thing, and they gotta play it off like they don't know. And you find out that a lot of the teachers and everything, and the rankers that were there, the one, Lorio, or whatever his name is either fired or he quits and says, well, I'm out of here. I'm going up the tower to find out what's going on. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And, so you kind of leave off, they find Bomb, and the director knows that he's not dead. It's all kind of a plan, so I don't know, and the thing that sucks about the next season is they have not touched on any of this yet. It's almost like you started a whole new show.
Right.
Yes.
So you kind of leave off at the end of season 1 like, okay, well, when we get to season 2, like, oh man, this is gonna be full speed ahead. We're gonna start to, he's gonna get a training arc or something. He's gonna, which thank God they completely skipped it for now. So, they find him at the bottom of the river or the cave or wherever they're at, and kind of leave it off from there that, okay, well, we're gonna train you. And he was asking where Rachel was even after he got pushed off.
Oh, I know.
So,
Yeah, we don't talk about that bitch.
no. Again, fuck her. Like, plain,
who is she again?
right. We don't fuck with her. Yeah, that was a big twist. I sat there and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I was expecting the director to turn on them. Like, that they were gonna get back there, and the director's like, no, we're actually not gonna let you pass the test anyways. And then it'd be a whole conflict. And then now we're kind of on to season 2, which I found out is a 4-year gap. That Tower of God came out 4 years ago, and people are just now getting season 2, so we're kind of getting in at the right time of watching this.
Yeah.
And the first thing you notice for season 2 is that the animation is night and day better. It is really tightened up. The fight scenes are really great.
Amazing.
And I mean, God, 4 years, you hope that
something would be better.
Something would be better.
Yeah.
So what I have for that, the liver diet is crazy. I don't recommend it. You know, if you want to give up an eyeball and liver and all that stuff. I also put that Bomb is more OP.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that part, but.
Have you finished episode 1?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll see.
I literally just got past the part where he was like the liver diet, and then he's eating his like ramen with the kid that he bumped. Like that's
okay.
Yeah. Who's the blonde guy again? Because he's just like
a new character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure he wasn't someone that just like changed completely from the first one. Okay.
Not as of right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so that was one of my pet peeves was you find out that they're 20 levels into, I'm assuming, the tower, if I had to guess.
How many levels is this? So probably 100.
I thought I heard something about somebody saying, oh, well, if Bond meet me at level 79 or something like that. So I don't know if that's how many levels there are or if that's just where that person is gonna be. You find out they skip a lot, and I'm really hoping that the season will kind of go back and explain some of this. I'm assuming you would have to. You can't just time jump like that and not have something in there.
I don't know. I think they're really just assuming you either read it or maybe even the manhwa does it, but I don't think they're going to fill that in. I think that's just lost time for us, and maybe we'll get a few details about some things during that time, but I don't think we'll ever fully get an account of what happened and how he ended up there and how he ended up on, what was it, UNC or whatever, that FU, whatever, you know what I'm talking about.
Fug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How he ended up there and how people can buy their way in now to the tower.
Yeah.
Has
so many.
Does it say how long has passed?
No, nothing. You have the only thing And the thing is you don't even know for sure that this is Bomb, other than one little instance where there's a little flashback.
Yes, that's the only reason you know it's him.
Yeah.
Is maybe 4 seconds of 3 episodes. That is the only thing that ties him.
Yep.
So he's not in any of the episodes so far, other than that 3 minute second.
Well, it depends.
No.
It depends. So Bomb's not, but Viola is. So our theory, yeah, okay.
I know.
So you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out in the next episode that Bomb is, we believe, going by Viola. So he is not. So he's not to be, detected as, because as far as everybody knows, he's dead.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Another thing I noticed, and I don't know if, Katie, if you caught this, they mentioned the one guy Rob Devil beat Hawks. Did you catch that?
I caught it for a few seconds, and then I was like, wait a minute, is that like in the past or recent? Like, there's just a lot of time gappy stuff that I'm not sure on.
Right, so I'm assuming, right, that's what I need to know is, like, are we not gonna see him anymore? Because he was like the Korean Sasuke. For, like, there's no...
That's a Korean Sasuke.
Yeah, I mean, that's the vibes that he gave me, was, he's the typical anime kind of wannabe bad boy, and then... the one that everybody kind of is like, oh my god, I really love him. Like, I'm Hawks for Hawks. I mean, he is. He was probably one of my favorites for sure. But the fact that he was mentioned has me slightly curious on when that happened, and if we're gonna get any more to that, which I don't want to spoil anything because we kind of find out that something happens to one of those characters in the latest episode.
I'm like, I need to watch it, but...
So, do you think we're going to see any of the characters from the first season again, really? Because I would feel like we have to. There's no point in adding it if they're not going to reappear.
Right.
But, like,
do you think they're going to
one of the strongest.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to reappear when they, like...
So
when he becomes like strong enough?
So what I'm wondering is if he's gonna be in this level 20, and that maybe eventually his older classmates or whoever end up making it to this level, and kinda, that there's so much up in the air now that it does have me wondering, okay, well, what's gonna...
Like, are they gonna, like, end up, like, meeting each other again?
You would have to assume that they're all gonna meet up. Now, is it a matter of if they're gonna recognize Bomb or not? Or if he's gonna play it off like, no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who that is. What are you talking about? Because he doesn't even look like Bomb. Other than a few shots when you look at his eyes and you know that that's, that's him.
He's changed that much?
Yeah.
Yes. You won't even know until you see that flashback that that's him. Once you see that flashback, you're like, okay, that's him 100%. Like, that's him.
Now I know.
But nothing confirms it still. Other than that, so far, nothing else is confirmed.
For all we know, it could be another person that somehow has a similar story. And I wouldn't be fucking surprised. That's the worst part.
Oh, I know. Like, they just completely, like, scrap, all of these characters in the first season. They're like, no, all of you guys we're gonna start a whole new.
And then I also made a comment about Yenwa, the Yino family member, how she got like the 26,000 points just by headbutting it on accident. I said her head game is strong, literally. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna get 26,000 points by accidentally headbutting something, I mean, I can't help that.
Well, it actually it does have to be bomb because remember how he learned how to like
Yeah.
freeze people? He
And
did that.
and
He's doing that in that
he's
third
doing that
episode.
in the
He's
third
using it.
episode, yeah. So there's clues telling you that this is more than likely him. And if I was a betting man, I would have to assume. My problem right now is I understand we gotta build up a little more, but why are we building up? We had a story that we could have already kind of, we skipped something, and I'm hoping that we get a flashback to a little bit of how we got to Tower 20 or level 20 already.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
Well,
how did we get here?
Not only how did
the game at level 20 seems really
Sorry.
easy compared to the game. You're fine. That they started off and on the other, where it was kill or be killed. In this,
Yeah.
it's more of a okay. We're gonna send a few up at a time. We're gonna let you slowly go in instead of
Right.
like go at it,
Right.
battle royale style. So why is level 20 easier than the first, or was that not the first one? Were they on maybe like 50? Like,
Well,
what are the
so-
tiers here? What?
The way I took the first season was those were just tests. This is just to see if you can even handle. And they kind of say it like, if you can't handle, this power right now, well, you're definitely not going to handle it in the tower, where it's
Yeah.
way worse. So
Yeah.
I think that was just a pre-course to the eventual tower. But still, I'm not understanding how people are still able to get to the tower, because now it seems like anybody can get into this tower, where before it seemed like it was a select few people that were worthy enough of doing this. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
the regular.
I don't know where this is going.
Exactly.
It's
Now
like-
you can pay in to get in.
would that also make them irregulars though? Because they're paying, they're not chosen.
Hard to say. So that's where the thing was where I was confused about irregular and regular. How is one considered irregular and how is one considered regular? Is it irregular? Is it irregular from a different, universe or a different dimension, and then a regular? I really hope that maybe eventually they explain it, or I might have to deep dive into some lore and see if somebody can explain it to me, because I'm fucking lost when it comes to that.
Yeah. They
They-
really didn't explain it very well.
They didn't explain a lot of things. You still don't understand that much about the Jihad family, other than that they're the king of this land, I'm assuming, or this tower, or this area.
Yeah.
There's 10 strong families, and it's like, as far as I knew, there was only the Jihads, and different divisions of the Jihad. So now we got a group that's wanting to kill the Jihads, and they've been around. And then you got this 10 strong families, which I'm assuming the Jihads is one of those. We're doing more world building, and we haven't even explained the shit that we had in the beginning.
Yeah.
Exactly, and they wrap that up really nicely to explain things, to at least break it down and help us understand maybe the dynamics and the power scale. But instead, it just completely 180'd and we got a whole different
Right.
storyline.
Yeah.
going.
Exactly.
Like the only thing I know about the Jihad and the princesses is that they're not siblings. Like they are, but they aren't.
Right. They're chosen. That's
Yeah, that's
And-
about it. And then
they're only sibling by adoption, pretty much. At
yeah,
that rate,
and that they can't have kids or anything like that. Which that one bitch already broke.
right.
I'm sure she's not the only one either.
Which, by the way, was a really sad backstory.
It was.
Right?
I really felt bad. That one really.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the sadder ones. I I kind of wish they would have touched on a little more of the side characters. You kind of know about Kun. You kind of know about Anak a little bit. Obviously, we kind of know about Bomb. But like, even Rachel, we don't really know that much about Rachel, other than she at one point wants to be the star and has never been the star of the show.
But she's not.
She never will be.
I hope
my
that,
God.
I really hope that at the end of the show.
That makes me so mad because she's still playing it. Well, at least from the last time we saw her, she was still playing and crippled, and she's not.
Yeah, I really hope that we get to the like last couple episodes of the show, and like it's a similar thing, and he just pushes her off. That it's them. I hope that it's them two at the end of the tower, and they both have kind of that battle. And honestly, I hope it's like a no debate. Like he just one-shots her off the thing, and don't even make it. She doesn't deserve a sob story.
No.
I'm hoping she's on a team and they just betray her and she gets eaten alive or something awful. I want something awful to happen to her that she can't come back from.
I'm hoping that maybe.
I'm hoping that what's her face, Kun kills her. Kun.
Yeah.
Might be. I hope he kills her because he already suspects something's going on with her. So I'm like, maybe he just to decide one day, and she's like, no, I want to be a star.
My big reaction from everything was, what the fug? So,
what the fug?
Yeah, so it's the group name that Viole is a part of. That I guess they oppose the jihad, and they're part of a Slayer. It's like Slayer group or something, and then, you know, my metalhead in me instinctively almost yelled out Slayer, and then, you know, that was the whole thing, and Raining Blood started playing. It was cool. But like,
is that really he's part of a team called the Fudge?
The Fug.
The Fug?
Yes.
Yeah. They're like
the Fug.
Yeah.
And he's wearing their uniform and everything, so it's like...
It kind of reminded me of Viakovsky a little bit, I'll be honest. The same color and everything.
The design is good.
You're lying.
No,
Why?
I kid you not, it looks relatively similar. It's not like a cloud or anything, but just the colors they use is very reminiscent of it. The other big thing I had again was just... So
you're telling me that's him?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's a really bad, but you...
Yeah, it's the title, it's the screen for... Yeah.
That's the long-haired motherfucker?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. At least that's what we believe.
Yeah, the only thing I know is that, like, he's the one that I've seen so far with the liver, the blonde guy.
Yeah.
He sucks. Just ignore him.
But no. Well, I'm assuming because he's gambling and he's in debt.
What's wrong with being in debt?
To take this test.
A lot, Damien. I thought you would know this.
I very much do.
Because you are.
I mean, we still are, but you know.
The big thing I had was just I put more world building with a question mark. I would have. At the moment, I'm not happy that I'm fine that I know we gotta add more characters and we gotta get to a point where this group of characters is gonna meet up with the old group of characters, I'm assuming, and we're gonna have some sort of, I guess.
But like before that, can we know things about just like basic things?
Right. Can we can we know first off what happened from? I'm assuming there's we'll say a 5-year gap, give or take. Because he is taller, he's clearly
watch 500 years have passed.
Right.
I mean, his hair is a lot longer,
Yeah.
so it looks like a few years
Yeah.
at least.
And
because my hair was like.
a thing that really gets brought up is that, like, and it's something that's brought up in the beginning of the show and then kind of at the end as well, is that the Rachel you knew at that time is going to be a lot more different than the Rachel you know the next time you meet her. So that kind of still.
She don't seem that different.
Well,
she seems like
Rachel.
well, if you think about it, the first time he meets her, sweetheart, absolutely amazing to
but like
But like by the time he sees her again, different. Now the problem is when he sees her again, she's gonna be even more different and corrupt than she was probably the
Prior.
last time. Yeah,
Just kill her. Just kill her.
I hope so.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, but she was also like still kind of a bitch even when he first knew her because
Yeah.
he left him
Right.
and then also was like did to kill him.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be the star. So I'm like, or see the stars or whatever. And I'm like,
Yeah.
because she was always kind of just a bitch, in my opinion.
And another thing, Katie, I know you brought this up. They're in the sky, but they're not in the sky. They've never seen the sky.
Yes. Yes.
If they've never seen the sky or anything, how do they know what a star is? How do they know
Okay,
what
so-
the sky is?
She had that one like fairy tale or urban legend, whatever you want to call it, where she was like, yeah, and he built up this tower brick by brick to get up to the star so he could be alone with his star for all eternity. And he was like, oh, isn't it lonely? And she's like, yeah, I guess so. And then this bitch is like, I'm gonna be a star.
She just wants to be alone forever.
But does she expect him to like climb the tower to see her as a star, even though she fucking killed him? Like,
That's what I'm wondering. There's like, I'm sure there's layers to it that we're
I
not.
hope that her as a star, if she makes it as a star, gets sucked in by a black hole
Yeah.
and disappears forever.
but the question too, they said they have no sky because that sky was artificial. So where are you going to be a star at if there's no sky? Like, where are you at? Are you underground in some bunker? Are you in a cave somewhere and this tower is just magical, existing in space and time?
Hopefully she becomes a star in someone's ass and just stays there. And she just she just disappears and is never seen again.
Not a star in someone's ass. Come on.
I didn't know what else to say. I really just
You
don't
know
like
what?
her, okay?
I think that might be the TikTok clip that starts this all out.
I was able to give
I
you
don't even
something.
know.
Oh my god. So,
Hey, I'm not the best with words, okay? And I
That's
didn't know what
fine.
else to say, and she just
Star
deserves
in
to
their
be.
ass.
could have been a pasty or something, but you said a star in the ass. So, what do we give? We're gonna do I guess, a rating for season 1. Season 2 is still going right now, so I can't really give it a justifiable rating yet. But for season 1, what would you all give?
4.6 out of 10.
That's pretty fair. Yesenia, what would you give?
I'd give it. Like a 3.6.
A 3.6 stars in the ass. Gotcha.
I'm okay. If for the first, there was 13 episodes, right? For the first like 11,
Yeah.
I would give a 3.6.
Now
For the last
2,
couple,
I would give a
but the
7
last-
or 8.
the last couple, it did help. So like that was
Mhm.
like a 6
Yeah.
and a half, 7. So if I can give 2 different ratings,
Yeah.
first 11 episodes, last 11 last
Last
couple
11?
episodes,
You've seen the future.
last couple episodes. Shut up.
It's the stars of her
Um,
ass.
I'm never gonna live that down. It's fine.
Nope. Honestly, that's how we're gonna rank all
A
metrics.
6.5.
A 6.5. So
Yeah.
I would give the first season as a whole, I would give it just a solid 5. It had some good things to it. The last 2 episodes is what really is gonna keep me watching it. Like I said, if we weren't watching this for the podcast, I wouldn't have even made it that far. So
Same.
Can't say that I would have either. I don't even think I think the first episode I would have been like, why is this bitch running and why is he following her? And then I would have been like, nah, I'm done.
I would have gave it the old 3-episode try, but I don't think it would have been something I held on to. So for that, I give it a 5. And a lot of it, the animation was rough. The story is very much all over the place.
Yeah.
And
Those last couple
Rachel's a
episodes
bitch.
really brought you back in. It really did, reel
Yeah.
you back in. It made you want to keep watching because you're like, this person can't have the happy ending, right?
Right. So for now,
It's just like,
for now, everything
I
I've had,
hate her.
Tower of God.
Same. I
Tower of
said you
God.
should be a star in someone's ass, so that doesn't tell you how much I don't like her.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not editing a star in somebody's ass. Okay, I'm sorry.
Do it.
You
Do
two,
it.
No, you have to edit it.
You
You
two.
gotta edit it
Make her
out.
face-
I'm gonna put Rachel.
Make her
on-
face into a star.
You have to edit it out, okay? That one
Oh my
was so.
So.
I'm so glad we're not doing things live anymore.
Oh my god. Oh no, I'm keeping the star in the ass.
No.
I have to.
Yes.
I have to.
Okay.
It was awesome.
It was awesome because I wasn't expecting it.
No.
Now, for the whole show, when this is with the 3 episodes, I would upgrade it to a 6. But for season 1, a 5. And wouldn't have watched if it wasn't for a homework assignment.
Yeah.
So.
I'm kind of glad it was though because it does suck because the first couple like I said 11 episodes did really kind of suck.
Right.
And if we weren't watching it for this, we would have just stopped and we would have never given it the chance that it actually kind of deserves after a while.
Yeah, that betrayal was perfect.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
I'm like sitting here with my pen, because I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
What did I just hear? And I had to like rewind it, and I'm like watching it. And I was like,
Exactly.
where?
So
You just like,
for that, I'm glad we watch it. We kind of were hearing the hype about it from other groups, and I've heard people talk about it. And I'm like, it wasn't too much of a watch to be able to just binge it and do our thing and say, hey, you know what? Let's hunker down. I think we're gonna do reviews on stuff. You know, it's one of the things we're gonna start adding on here. So maybe we'll find another anime soon to.
especially with like the newer things that
Yes.
are coming out.
So like, I want to say maybe not next week's episode, but the episode after. I want to do a kaiju review of the whole season.
Perfect.
And if everybody's read the manga, we can kind of compare to what has been shown in the manga to the anime. So, did you all have any closing words for Tower of God before we had closing notes and kind of just headed out? Other than Rachel's a bitch.
Rachel's a bitch.
Rachel's
A bitch, and she doesn't deserve to be a star.
No, straight up a bitch.
No.
So this was Weeb or Die. Our new schedule is new video out every Friday, and possibly